Hello everyone and welcome back to Manifested Finesse on YouTube. My name is Manifesting Gaia. That is my Twitter, TikTok, and podcast. All the links are down below. My paid coaching email and my affirmations list email is down below. And all timestamps are down below. And today we're going to be talking about 5 limiting beliefs when it comes to persisting and affirming. The first limiting belief that I want to talk about is you can't persist all day or it's obsessing over your desire. I already have a video explaining the difference between persisting and obsessing, but obsessing literally just means it's in your mind all the time. You have no control over when it's coming in and out of your mind. And most importantly, there's a factor of separation. When you're obsessed with something, you really want it. It could be a food or it could be your partner's ex. Okay, if you're obsessed not with necessarily the ex, but the fact that they had your partner, or the qualities that they have, you're comparing yourself, you're always thinking about them, like that's an obsession. And you're not doing anything with the thoughts other than just focusing on them. Persisting is repeating despite opposition, despite what's going on. It's repeating to become. It's repeating to change. The point of persisting is to saturate your mind. Okay, so the more you persist, the more you'll start to believe, which is the whole point of persisting in the first place, which is a good thing. I saw this comment on a video one time and it really stuck with me. Somebody once said, if I'm trying to manifest somebody to be my girlfriend, I'm going to think about her all day anyways. I'm going to relish in the idea that like we're in an amazing relationship and whatever. So how could it be wrong to do it now? And exactly, when you're obsessing over something, it's because you see it above you, which is why you're obsessing over it, because you're trying to get it. It is separate. You're not in control of it in your life. Persisting with a desire means knowing you have it. You're persisting that you have it. You're persisting that it's yours. You're persisting it's in your life. You feel good because you already have it. That's like me saying I'm wearing clothes. I'm wearing clothes. I'm wearing clothes. I'm not obsessed with the clothes I'm wearing. I'm just stating the facts. You're stating facts when you're persisting. When you're persisting, what you want is not above you. So you can persist as much as you please. And you'll know the difference. Like, you know the difference between obsessing over something because you don't have it and it's out of reach versus persisting that, oh, today's Tuesday, today's Thursday, I'm a girl, I'm wearing black. That's not an obsession. The next limiting belief is that you have to affirm/persist all day if you want what you want to manifest. You don't have to consciously affirm all day. Affirmations are just thoughts. So you affirm all day, like you think all day. But if you don't want to be telling yourself all day that you live in New York, you live in New York, you live in New York, you don't have to do that. That's fine. Just keep the mental diet. Because like I said, you're still having thoughts anyway. And if you desire something, it's probably going to come up maybe once a week, once a day, twice a day, 6 times. I don't care if it's 70 times a day. It's going to be coming up. So it's just making sure if you don't like to persist, when the desire does come up in your head, the thoughts are aligned with you having it or receiving it or being the version of you that is able to create it. I know people always ask, should I affirm or persist all day or only when I think about it? It's up to you. It's up to how you feel. Some people don't like affirming. Some people are visualizers. Some people are scripters. That's fine. But it doesn't matter if you're scripting or visualizing and not consciously affirming. You still think about the desire. So as long as when you think about the desire, your thoughts are good, you're good. If your desire isn't on your mind all the time, you don't have to make it that way. And for the people whose desires are on their mind all the time, when you are persisting, you'll see in a couple weeks or days or however long that you'll want to affirm less and less. And I know some people are like, why do I not feel like persisting anymore? And when I started, I wanted to do it, or I was doing it all day, and now I think about doing it and I don't really feel like doing it anymore. Like, what's wrong? What happened? That's not a bad thing. That's a normal thing. I'm there now too. Usually when we're starting to persist and we're able to persist all day, there is like a little bit, I don't want to say like obsession, but there's a little bit of like a need for it. So when you want to do it less and less, you don't need it anymore. You're fine where you are because you know that it's yours. You finally are at peace. Your mind is impressed. Like, you're at a point where you don't need to do it anymore. So that's fine. You don't have to affirm or persist all day. It's normal to not want to affirm or persist all day. And it's fine to want to affirm and persist all day. The next limiting belief, the first couple times you start affirming and persisting, you're supposed to believe the statements right away. And if it's been weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and you still don't believe what you're saying to yourself, it's not working and you should give up. I've been dying to talk about this one for a hot minute. If you're trying to manifest something that you naturally have a lot of resistance behind, so clear skin, if you're trying to manifest clear skin and you have been telling yourself a story since you were 14 that your skin is never going to get cleared, no matter how many products you use, it's not going to clear up, it's bad, all your pictures you have are just pictures of you filled with red dots and whatever. If you tell yourself my skin is so clear, my skin is glowing, my pores are gone, what pores, you are not going to see it favorably. You don't see it favorably. So if you want to change the story you have about your skin in your mind, it's going to require more persistence from you than something you don't have a story behind. If you don't have a story behind being able to manifest a drink or a green car, then it's not going to be hard to. It can come faster because it doesn't take that long for you to be able to align or be the version of yourself mentally that has experienced having a smoothie or seeing a green car. You're not aligned with a version of yourself that has clear skin. This belief is where so many people get stuck because they're affirming to see things outside of them. You are not persisting to see something outside of you. You are changing your state. And people are always like, yeah, well, I've been affirming for like 10 months, 6 months, 24 hours, 29 years, and it's still not here. Yes, because you're the same person. You are the same person. You are changing you, not the outside circumstances. I explain this a lot more in my subconscious impression video, but your subconscious mind is always seeking evidence of the stories you hold dominant and defending the stories that you have dominant in your mind. So if what you're persisting on is in complete opposition to the dominant story you have about that area of your life, so with the skin, if you're persisting that your skin is clear and your dominant story that you've been telling yourself for weeks, months, years, days, I don't care, that you're emotionally, mentally attached to is opposing each other, your new story is not going to feel normal and your mind is going to defend it, the story that you have dominant, and push your persistence away. So it is not weird or wrong to not believe it. I don't care if it's been weeks. Like, yes, like some things have taken me weeks or months to finally accept. And it's not that it has to take that long. It's I was wavering. You can't persist and then be like, well, I don't believe it. It doesn't make sense. It's not working. Like, it's pushing back. I'm doing it wrong. And then being like, no, but my skin's clear. That's going to take forever. It's not impossible. You can still do it with wavering, but it's going to take forever than if you just decide to just thug it through for like 2 weeks, for like 30 days. Okay? Everyone goes through it. But the difference between the people who get what they want and don't get what they want by going through it is the people that did go through the resistance and not believing their affirmations at first. They were consistent and disciplined. You have to be consistent and disciplined if you want your mind to accept and if you want to feel less resistance. Next, limiting belief is you have to sit down and get in a zone to persist. Persistence affirmations are just thoughts. You could and should be affirming and persisting when you're cooking, cleaning, showering, about to go to bed, at the gym, at work, like in line, driving at a red light, like you should be doing it. It's just thoughts. It's not something you have to set down. Did you sit down and say to yourself over and over, oh, my boyfriend's gonna break up with me, my boyfriend's gonna break up with me, oh, I'm gonna be broke today, I'm gonna be broke forever? No, you didn't have to sit down, you didn't have to do it. You were just repeating it whenever it came up in your mind, or whenever you saw something that reminded you of it, or whatever. It's not something that you have to consciously do. You can persist whenever. You can have affirmation tapes playing in the background during the day, and whether you're using headphones or your phone is on a table in the room and it's out loud, like whatever. You don't have to consciously sit there and do it. Your mind doesn't care. It does not matter. No dominant story that you have right now, especially from childhood, where you sitting there and saying over and over, I'm not worth it, I'm dumb, I'm short, I'm tall. Like, you just repeat it whenever. So you don't have to get in a zone. You don't have to be meditative. You don't have to sit down, take time out of your day, Oh, people are like, I don't have time to affirm. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? You have 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. You had 80,000 times to affirm. Like, you had time. And the last limiting belief is you have to believe your affirmations or your persistence. Let's talk about this one too. This one is an important one too. Belief is natural. You don't force a belief. Anything you believe right now, you did not force yourself to believe. Beliefs are just ideas that you repeated to yourself over and over and over again, or that were repeated to you over and over and over again. The more you repeat, the more you will start to believe. And like I said in point number 3, you're not going to believe the new story right away if your old story completely opposes it. Some people try to force belief, and that's why they'll persist and get so exhausted. They're like, affirming, I get tired when I affirm, I get tired. How are you tired of thinking thoughts? You cannot get tired of thinking thoughts. You do it 80,000 times a day for 365 days for like a century. Like, you can't get tired. It's natural. And you don't have to believe it for it to manifest anyways. You don't have to work to get there. I personally do. I like to get to a point where I believe because it just feels good. But sometimes I will get a manifestation before I even fully believed it. Or sometimes I'll manifest something with not fully believe it. I just don't waver. You just can't waver. You just can't persist and then say it doesn't work. Like, you don't have to believe something for you to not have or to choose to oppose it. But how I kind of build beliefs behind my persistence is I like to become present. And when I'm saying it to myself, I like to, sometimes I'll see it, I'll feel it, I'll just hear it. Because sometimes people don't hear themselves. They're just like, I'm rich, I'm wealthy, money's good, money's fast. But like, if I want to like focus on building belief, I like to sit and like really feel wealth, really feel financial freedom. Like, what would I do? Like, rampage or spiral on my new story, spiral on good beliefs. Like, yes, like, I'm so abundant, like, I'm so wealthy. So the only thing that matters is that you're not wavering. Just like if you were talking to a child about Santa Claus and you don't believe in it but they do you feel resistance talking about Santa because you don't believe in it? No, you don't have to feel bad or feel resistance about something you don't believe. You can talk about something without opposing it. You're not going to tell a child Santa Claus is real. Wait, I don't believe it. So, just kidding. He's not. All you're doing is telling yourself stories and staying on top of yourself and staying on top of your mental diet. And those are the points that I have for you guys today. Let me know if y'all have any questions. I hope this cleared up some limiting beliefs for you. I know there's a lot more. I can make a part 2 if you guys want. But yeah, with that being said, that is all I have for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, you can have anything you want in this universe. Nothing's too big, small, wide, or expensive. I believe in you. You should believe in you. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.